What's up, crypto junkies? Jay coming at you with another video. Today we're going to talk about Steem. I'm going to do a full breakdown, a full analysis of Steem, I guess you could call this. We're going to do TA on Steem, so be prepared. Cue the intro, let's go.
Crypto junkie merch, crypto junkie merch, crypto junkie merch, crypto junkie merch, hey.
All right. Let's talk Steem. So the reason why I like Steem and I've become way more interested in it recently than ever before is because how much utility is built around Steem. Now, the number one complaint and the number one thing that everyone in crypto claims they care about is use case, right? What's the utility and use case around this? So utilities are things that are built out around the coin itself or the ecosystem around it, right? And the community. And then the use case is what's the case to use it, okay? So not only do we have Steemit.com, which is like Medium, we've got busy.org, which is like Twitter, we've got DTube, which is like YouTube, and we've got DLive, which is the newest one, which is like Twitch, kind of like YouTube a little bit, but it's where all the gamers are going, so it's a lot like Twitch. So we essentially got a YouTube, a Twitter, and a Twitch already. I think that's it. So we've got all these projects going on, and you can actually get a full list at Steem. Let's pull this up here. Steemprojects.com. Bam, ba-dam, bam, bam. So there is a ton of other projects going on. Some of them are just coming out. Some of them aren't that big, but you can check out steemprojects.com. You'll be able to see what's going on with people that are building out utility on the platform. I like that a lot, right? That's showing strength in a project. And the reason why that matters is because as this year goes on more and more, as we see more altcoins kind of decouple from the Bitcoin pairing and go out on their own and spread their wings, launch their main nets, whatever. We already got EOS and Tron, and we'll have many, many more this year. But this year will be a defining year for a lot of the altcoin market to really solidify what they are and why you should use them, right? At that breaking point, we need to. And with the sheer size of ICOs that have launched this year, it's now more important than ever, right? I've got the chart open here, and I want to call your attention to a few things first, and then I'll do a follow-up video where I break this down better, but I just did some 2-cent research to get these dates and these time frames for you right now, and then we'll go ahead and do some TA. So fundamentally, a lot of use case, right? A lot of projects that are being built on the Steemit coin and off the back of Steemit. If you haven't already looked at it, you might want to take some time and research, right? Understand that with a lot of this, like, especially when Steem first came out and they just had Steemit.com, and it was like, okay, why wouldn't I just use Medium? I've already been using it, it's established, I've already got a following there, why would I move to Steemit? And that's the number one, reason why people won't move. And that's true for any platform, like Busy, like DLive, like DTube. Well, I'm already on YouTube, I'm already on Twitch, why would I move? And so what I'm gonna do is, the deeper research I'm gonna do is I'm gonna map and see if there's a correlation in growth with Steemit in terms of the price action and with adpocalypses on YouTube and different things happening with Twitch and the different kind of rise and fall of these certain platforms and scenarios to see if that's affected the price action positively, negatively, what, or nothing at all with Steem. So the first thing that I've just boxed out here is that from February of 2017 through to May of 2017 is when the very first adpocalypse hit that was really big and reported on. It was estimated that through the entire summer, though, that a lot of YouTube channels were affected and advertising on family-friendly channels. So we can assume that starting in February, it carried on all the way through, I say July, August, right? So let's call it July. I think I consider summer. I'm not sure if you do. June and July I consider summer, and the rest is kind of spring and fall. So here's the end of July right here. So there's a nice run up. Something triggered it here. There might be no correlation. There might be some correlation. But anyways, that's the first breadcrumb. The second breadcrumb is PewDiePie said the N-word. I can't believe I'm saying this. So PewDiePie said the N-word at some point in September, and that triggered a hashtag, that triggered a ton of uproar. And once again, what did we hear in the news, in the media? That there was tons of people, tons of advertisers running away from YouTube, and that they were struggling to keep advertisers on the platform. I don't know when that was. I got to look up the specific date. Again, maybe price action correlates there. So the last date I want to share with you is in January, when Logan Paul decided that it was smart to go to Suicide Forest and film a dead body. That created huge outrage, and once again, what did we hear about? We heard about ad revenue being affected. So the reason why this might be a macro thing that matters is because if people on the YouTube platform, creators, are no longer able to make money, or the money that they were making before is now less, then they are going to do what? They're going to go to another platform. So I'm sure that we could lay over growth charts of Twitch and it would coincide better than Steemit, because Twitch is way more well known than Steam is. And DLive and DTube and now BitTube that just recently got listed on Bittrex, they didn't do an ICO, they just listed. So they listed on Bittrex. Now we've got 3 alternate platforms that are all crypto based. Watch as more people get into these platforms. BitTube, I think, will take a lot of the attention, and so will BitTube. DLive isn't really that well known at this point, but that really is like the Twitch competitor. These dates, I think it'd be smart to look at Twitch growth over the top of these dates as well and see just where that traffic went, but it went somewhere. Creators definitely left YouTube to go somewhere else. And this all is important when it comes to Steemit's price, is because Steemit is now the cryptocurrency that backs DTube and DLive, which are video platforms. So anyways, these are actually green candles. But also what happened in January, the beginning of this year, is Steemit did a huge marketing campaign, which if we see, things started to really fizzle out in February and all the way into March. Makes total sense, because again, you run an advertising campaign for 15 to 30 days and then you get diminishing returns, so things start to really fade. So anyways, those are some historic dates. Steemit has had about 20 forks, meaning that they've made massive updates to the platform. That's the piece I don't know. I don't know the inner mechanism of the inflation pieces and the metrics of the coin itself. That I got to study the white paper, and that I will also bring in the next video. But anyway, so let's talk about some TA now, right? Okay, let's get into that fun stuff. We've got, I think this is the best chart to follow. It's the Bittrex chart. We've got a lot of data here. Okay, so the first thing is let me delete this. I did a fib off of here to the top, to the tippy top here. And that is back in December. And the reason why, and what I'm looking for, is I'm looking for this right here. What do you know? We've found support on the 236 on the way up. Now we've tested once. We tested twice, and here's what I want you to really look at and focus on. We've actually broken through, and this is the second time we've broken through. So the first time we broke through, we immediately slingshotted back out of that. Well, actually the first time's here. The first time we broke through, because if we were to zoom in, we've got a little John Wick action going on. Let's make sure that my lines are perfect. We're going from wick to wick. So we did break through on some wicks here and a little bit of body action, but the minute that we did on this daily candle here, we bounced out of that and skyrocketed out, okay, over the next 2 weeks. The second time we did it, we bounced out and skyrocketed the next day, and the price once again went up and tested the 382 and immediately broke down. And that's what we're looking at over this last week, because we're on the daily. We're now immediately breaking down, and this candle that we're forming for the daily today will be a further breakdown candle. I think we're going to keep breaking down. Now, where could we go? Well, we could go all the way back down to 0. So we could go literally all the way back down to a full retrace. And then if we broke down further than that, we'd go way down here. That's not likely. It doesn't usually do that, but altcoins play a different game than Bitcoin, okay? And I have way more experience charting Bitcoin than altcoins, to be honest. It will break down here. It already is. And if it were to skyrocket out, where we would see that is the daily, whatever we close at today, the next daily candle we would see start to skyrocket and come back out of the chute. Understand that this isn't just the third retest. It's the third retest this year. We've interacted with this price range quite a bit in the past. It acted as resistance back here, support and resistance back here. So this is not a new zone, and this is not a new line for us to, that's significant, okay? But if we bounce out of this, if we close down and then we open up down here, there's a very low chance that it will slingshot back out of here. What is more likely is that it will continue bearish and that we will break down further. And so the next zone that you would be looking at is this line down here. So I haven't even drawn any lines yet, but let's draw some.
All right, so the first one we're gonna snap. Let's get my magnet on, because I want this guy right there. And my line is too thick. Let's make that regular lines now. So there's my first one. My second one, I like that 236 line right there. Actually, it's more like right there.
Let's break down this fib stuff a little deeper. So the 382, let's get rid of this line. Well, let's just make it thinner. I want to keep it there. There we go. We saw some wicks touch. It acted as huge support here on the 382, bounced back out. We see a ton of interaction in the golden pocket, the little golden zone here. Tons of wicks happening. There's good algo spots. The bots are really active on this coin, or people algorithmically trading are really active, or both, right? We broke through the 382 here, and that's when we had the first test and retest over days and days and days in this zone, this 236 zone. Which is why, like, this is really the third time we're testing it. The more times you test this support, what happens? Two things. It either breaks out or breaks down. The volume has been really low. There's not any marketing going on with Steemit right now. There's not really like a big reason to bring in massive amounts of users. There's not a whole lot of new YouTube videos that have been dispatched on Steemit. There's not a whole lot of reason to bring new people into the platform and pump up volume. Like, volume has been steadily breaking down over the last couple days, all right? And then part of that reason is because they're hard forking. So that could have been back here. So you buy the, what do you buy the news, sell the hype? Something like that, I believe is the saying. This could have been the pre-hype right here, and then here's the sell-off happening after the hype is faded on the next hard fork, which is really just putting forth more changes to the platform itself, okay? I estimate what I think is gonna happen is it's gonna keep breaking down. And so the next support line would be down here, which is a great entry price, great entry zone. Reason why, and why you'd wanna actually accumulate this coin, besides day trading it and just treating it as a coin, I think if you want to start actually using the platforms like Steemit, like DTube, like DLive, it makes sense to actually buy the coin and accumulate it, which is what I'm doing right now. We're about to start a Steemit community hustle, which will just allow a train of people to all get some action, to all get some money. So I'm gonna pump up my account and we all feed each other. So everyone gets upvoted in this little train thing. It's kind of silly. It reminds me of like Twitter follow trains. Remember that back in the day? This, we're making money. We're making Steemit, we're making money. It allows great content to get shared and get out there. So we'll have some standards put in place, obviously, for the community, and we'll have some requirements as well. Let me drink some quick water here. But overall, we're gonna run a hustle because there's money to be made. I think it's easy and it's residual for a lot of people to get rewarded for some stuff they're already doing. And I see big potential for Steemit in the future. We've got some zones happening here too. Let's just box out this zone here. There we go, right there. That's our 100% line. And we could even get specific, and we could definitely call out this 786 line, this zone with these wicks here. I like that one better. Right in there, another line of significance. We've essentially worked this range this whole year, but to get tighter, we've worked this range. So what we can expect is if this does break down here, then it will match here. And again, we're working that whole zone. So even from just a scalping standpoint, now this isn't gonna be like a 5-day move. This is really gonna be a shorter term play over the next couple months. Let's say we break down, I'd be stacking in buys all the way through here. Here's our 50%. You could stack your sells up in here. 618, 786, and 100% retracement. Pull some really nice profits. So what's this whole range? 578% on the whole range. Okay, not buying that. What's just this range right here? 140% for just this tighter range we've been running. Okay, not bad. 140% to that one, 188% to run from the 236 up to the top and just skip this whole bottom. So there's some really great potential here with the short term over the next couple months. And you got to understand that the utility will continue to grow. YouTube just put out news. If you watched my, well, depending on when this gets uploaded to the channel and what channel it gets uploaded to, YouTube just announced that it's trying to fight fake news. And its plan to do that is to give $25 million to news organizations that are already an existing media company, already have hundreds of millions of dollars in funding. They feel they're not getting enough views on YouTube, and they feel that alt media, and they specifically referenced Alex Jones, is getting too much attention and it's fake news. We already see what's happening here, right? For those of us who are paying attention, we already see what's happening. So YouTube was built to be a platform for creators, not news organizations. But what do we see? We see Will Smith's channel getting popularity and getting special treatment. We see Kevin Hart's channel get special treatment. We see The Rock's channel and all the 5 Cent Productions getting special treatment. And a lot of the alt media getting not so special treatment and getting buried down lower and lower in the search results, while CNN and Snoops and Fox and MSNBC, which are notorious for being biased, which is journalism 101, those sites are now starting to show up higher, and now they're about to get an insurgence of $25 million. I'll give you the big secret here, guys. The reason why they're not getting views and not going viral is because they have no personality. That's why nobody cares and nobody wants to watch it. Call me crazy. So anyways, the platform YouTube is officially dying. It's not a platform for the people anymore, for the creators. It's not a platform to make great money with anymore. And so people, creators, myself included, will be going to new platforms looking for new options. And what do you know? Two of the big up-and-comers are both running off Steemit. Starting to footprint this together. So those are some of the breadcrumbs. We've got some beautiful retracement action going on here. Ever since it came down from the mountaintops here, from the moon, ever since then, it has picked a sort of groove here. And I think the sweet spot for a while is definitely going to be $1 to $2. It's $1.32, I think, right now. But even if you were to pull a retracement on this, which is taking a longer time frame, you would start to see some correlation. So let's do that really quick. So we could have done a trend on either one of these. Okay, pull that up to the top. And let's see if we got some correlation. There it is. Let's get rid of that. Let's do a trend. Give me that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we start to see, okay, so the 236 on the previous trend is still at play, and a major significance line on the current last 12 months. So what is this whole stretch here? This is 6 all the way, okay, so 6 months. So from this, basically the second half of 2017 is this motion here. And this gives us some telling information. It almost lines up with the 382, splits that in half between the 50%. And what do we got here? This splits this line in half. And we see significant price action happening at these levels. Even now, here we are a year later, there's still significance from this last trend. A little bit, you know, they're not lining up perfectly, which is why I wouldn't follow that deeply. Let's get rid of that. Let's do a fresh one. Okay. There we go. And we see the 236 is in a little bit slightly different spot, but it's like this whole little pocket here, this whole little zone is the sweet spot. 382, 5, the 618, the 50%, honestly, most people don't use it on fib retracements. Most day traders don't. They don't use it as a significant line. They use it as an entry and exit point for longing and shorting. That's what that's mostly used for, which if you look, it's a big pivotal line. That's played a major role. 618 is a good place to start pulling profit. It's the golden pocket, 618 and 650, and the 786. So 236 and 382 are usually always acting as support. Those are our support zones. And in the 618 and 786 and 1% is where people are pulling profit. Make sense? There's a lot of potential with this coin, even at its current value at $1.32. I've been accumulating as well. So there's a couple of different really simple accumulation strategies. The easiest one would be anytime on the daily that the RSI is oversold, which here's a day. And right now, what's going to be scary is how low this drops, because if we look at the daily here, we're not quite in the oversold territory yet. There's a lot of room that we could get on this. So we might be opening up for another sweet buying opportunity over this next 48 hours. So you would just buy here. And if you look, the actual price action that you'd be paying for that are good prices. So back here, same thing. It's all in this $1.37 to $1.32 range, which is where we're kind of zipping around in. So there's some wicks down there. Those orders were filled. On this day, on this day, on this day, those would have all been good prices to buy in at. Going back even further, we've got some action here, much lower. That's somewhere around $1. Yeah, somewhere around $1, I want to say. There's some action there. We got some back here that's even lower. Maybe this is like the 80 cents, 70, 80 cent range. It's a really simple accumulation strategy. So my goal personally with Steem, in the beginning, I'll grab probably like 1,000 and get things rolling. And then I want to quickly move up to 10,000 and beyond that, with the end goal to get a lot, like 1 million. I was doing some math, and the ROI that you could get on this is pretty crazy. So to put this into perspective, right, I'm working on a real estate deal. And so with this real estate deal, this isn't average by any means, but it's good terms. So with the amount of money that I invest up front, I'll be looking at ROI in 3.5 to 4 years. Okay, if I were to buy 1 million Steem right now at $1.32, that's like 1.76 million. It would take 4 or 5 years to get ROI on that right now without taking into consideration any compounding of my efforts through the upvoting system and through the natural voting platform that exists, which essentially gives me Steem power and more Steem dollars. Let's say I didn't even touch that and the price didn't even change. It just stayed the same. Then what I'm looking at is an ROI in like 4 or 5 years. It's really, really similar. And I don't know if people are looking at it like that. I don't know if that gives you good perspective or if it just sounds crazy or retarded. I don't know. It oftentimes helps to put things into perspective like that. If a real estate deal provides that, there's risks associated with real estate. There's risks associated with crypto. Different risks, but to compare it, I mean, like with real estate, you got what? You got like weather conditions, you got it wasn't built right, and foundational problems, you got not being able to fill it, and tenants. All those are problems that happen initially, during build, and then post build. You got to fill that every single day with like Airbnb or local, marketing and advertising costs associated with that. Steem is going to have its own problems. The price is going to go up, price is going to go down. Users are going to come in, users are going to go out. Different sets of problems, but fundamentally, I don't see Steem going anywhere. There's so much utility built around it now. All these guys really got to do is just keep standing there with their arms open, grabbing the users all, kind of all falling out of YouTube and Twitch, because Twitch is kind of a weird ecosystem too. And the treatment of women streamers versus guy streamers is much, much different. And that's all been brought to light with a few different scenarios that have come up in the last 3-4 months. So all these platforms are really being exposed for massive flaws and massive issues. Creators want to make money. Creators will keep going to somewhere that they can make money. They'll keep bringing their audience there too. As soon as big creators start coming here with hundreds of thousands and millions of viewers, start dumping those onto your DTube and DLives, then some big stuff will start happening. And same thing with BitTube. I like BitTube even though it's not Steem, it's its own cryptocurrency. But I like the concept of that, and I think that platform would do really well too. BitChute, I think will do really well as a decentralized platform as well. They're currently doing a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe rather. They're looking to grow and looking to branch out as well. So anyways, I hope that helps you guys out with making a decision on some coins to start accumulating. Remember, right now, when Bitcoin isn't sexy and isn't fun and isn't going to the moon and not everyone's getting Lambos off of it, it's time to sink your teeth into some other stuff. It's time to get creative and make some other moves happen and scoop up some really great coins that will pay you in the long run, right? And you get enough of those stacked out. You got some masternode stuff over here maybe, or some staking coins, doing some ICO stuff over here. You got your Bitcoin, maybe you got an index. You see how all that kind of adds up? And what that adds to and equals out to is sovereignty in the long run, my friends. So anyways, this is part 1 of Steemit. Be on the lookout for part 2, which is where I'll drop more of the fundamentals and the research when I go and reread the current white paper and the current state of the coin itself and the fundamentals. And then we get some more dates in terms of big amounts of people leaving YouTube, some of the Twitch drama that's happened, and see if we get some correlations, right? And I'll drop those dates on the chart as well and give that to you. I'll publish all this on my TradingView. So you guys, if you're not already, you can follow me on TradingView. J Brandon 0, reputation 9, 76 views, 1 published so far. I really haven't published anything, but I'm going to start doing more. This is actually the BTC futures expiration dates all mapped out for you. Nice and easy to follow along. Next, I will do the Steemit. So we're growing it nice and slow, but yeah, appreciate a follow from you guys. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so that maybe kind of sorta YouTube will give you some of my future uploads and previous uploads for you to check out. All right, my friends. See ya.